The fleet of the Galactic Empire floated softly in the frigid emptiness, a stronghold of svelte, menacing vessels standing right outside. The orbit of Earth was made up of the most formidable vessels in the Empire, with shimmering cannons for shields that can stealth and burn through continents, systems that were still functioning. For them, this was the result of thousands of campaigns, hardly more than another archaic conquest worth all of their might. According to intelligence reports, the people are just a little bit farther than their planet's atmosphere, a minimal danger. In the command deck of the flagship, a flurry of displays provided high-level tactical data. Commander Carrack squinted his gaze at it. It was a tiny, live projection of Earth. The backwater world of Blue Lush has a reputation for hazardous environments. He thought that the hostile wildlife was the Empire's only hesitation to inhabit Earth directly, but it was too far away. Erratic. The tales of Earth's deadly ecosystems had turned into a common joke in the ranks. The officer in charge of the fleet shook his head. "Send our demand for surrender, and we'll see if these people are intelligent enough to cooperate without creating more chaos than they already have." Carrack nodded to an officer who swiftly passed down the Empire's standard. Earth Authority, ultimatum. Confront the Galactic Empire and give up. We'll acknowledge your adherence to the terms, and there will be little opposition to retaliation. After a few seconds, the screen blinked to life, displaying a human face. The man was composed, in his dark, basic clothing. Carrack was taken aback by the unexpected expression. "This is Captain Lang," the man said in a casual tone. "I see you've left a fleet parked outside our door. May I aid you?" Carrack suppressed his irritation. "Your planet, Captain Lang, is enormously outclassed by our fleet. Acknowledgement, surrender, and—" Lang raised a minimal amount of an eyebrow, followed by a brief chuckle that caused Carrack to mutter, "Officers, give up! We might not possess your high-tech equipment, but we have enough to mount a respectable defense." Lang shrugged and grinned crookedly. "Do you not believe that the entire evil empire—" Carrack's eyes were a little out of date. He sneered, reducing. This impudence from a supposed primal. "You don't seem to comprehend your circumstances. In this galaxy, we are the dominant force. Resistance is stupid and futile." Lang's face lit up with a grin. "Okay, we get it. But you're in our current neighborhood, and we don't consume trying to be friendly to bullies." Another officer suppressed a laugh and added, "Yeah, this dominant force concept isn't actually. Perhaps try something unusual to impress us." Carrack tightened his jaw and pitched his head next time. "Captain Lang, you will pay for your conceit. We'll move forward with force." He signaled his weapons officer, who prepared the cannons of the ship for a targeted strike. Lang's face remained unchanged. "Then go ahead and fire away, but I'd stay nearby. Watch the readouts from your ship if I were you. We've prepared a few surprises for you." Carrack hesitated, his eyes gleaming. "Let's see how your tech is so advanced that—" He trailed off as he ordered his fleet to move. The fleet surged back into the Stone Age. The command deck screens in the direction of Earth showed the defensive fleet of Earth, a dispersed collection of ships, nothing more than more antiquated garbage by the Empire's standards. Yet, they continued to shift with synchronized, precise placement, positioning themselves between Earth and the Empire. This perplexing assurance only served to fuel Carrack's fury, ready to engage at his command. The first volley was fired by his officers, blasts of scorching energy lasers directed toward the fleet of humans. But prior to reaching their goals, the arcs of light were extinguished by beams, fading like a car hitting a wall. A sensor officer's eyes grew wide. "Our firearms are not available, Commander. Some kind of electromagnetic interference is making it impossible to locate an origin." Before the Empire could recalculate, the human fleet retaliated in response. Rockets fired from their patchwork ships that looked crude and mismatched, but each one had a surprise cargo. As the missiles collided, explosions of pulse waves and static interrupted the shields of the Empire, scrambling their human engineers' target systems. Carrack gazed in disbelief as the shields of the Empire flickered. He ordered a return fire, but the turmoil only grew worse. The fleet had dispersed, carrying out unpredictable moves that caused confusion. The Empire's targeting systems became a complex puzzle, with parts of the fleet weaving together and then vanishing from view. Frustration grew on the command deck. Humans' unpredictable strategies and continuous mockery only served to magnify the Empire's increasing perplexity. Captain Lang's voice broke through the static. "Did we mention our scrapyard is the best mechanics in the galaxy? We thought we'd provide a little more firepower for you." The laughing of the human crew reverberated through the channel of the Empire, a sound so strange and disconcerting that Carrack's officers turned to him, unsure of their next move. The customary sense of dominance was fading. Carrack's self-assurance wavered for the first time as the fleet of the Empire encountered opposition like nothing before. The unpredictable nature of human strategies was unsettling. How their spacecraft, seemingly mismatched artifacts from historical periods, appeared bristling with intent. Despite being outgunned, they wouldn't just roll over. Lang's voice broke in again. "Once more, you seem a touch strange today, Commander. Those auto-targets require some upkeep, or are you guys just trying for the picturesque vista?" The fleet trembled as tiny, nimble drones launched from the human ships. They lacked sophistication, misaligned, desolate, far from graceful, but they sped in the direction of the Empire. The drones divided the Empire's battleships into smaller waves, each one loaded with EMP pulses. As soon as the drones hit, the Empire's ships trembled, their systems flickering under the EMP blast. The powerful shields that had once made them nearly invincible were now showing signs of weakness. Desperation began to show on Carrack's face as his officers turned to him, hoping for a prompt, unequivocal directive. Even he couldn't dispute that the circumstances were becoming unmanageable. The serene superiority of the Empire was crumbling. Lang's laughter echoed across the communication channel. "We've got an old saying here, if you're experiencing hell, keep going. And right now, I believe you're not having nearly as much fun as we are." Carrack gritted his teeth. He'd never seen a foe who thrived on turmoil, confronting it with the same eagerness as the humans did. Every time the Empire attacked, the humans responded with fresh, unconventional counterattacks. Their strategies seemed to develop in the middle of the fight, each one as confusing as the last. Even as the fleet of the Empire recalibrated for a fresh attack, the humans' tactics kept them on the defensive. Carrack issued a final offensive, guiding every available weapon toward the human ships. Yet, when the Empire launched its final blow, once more the human fleet scattered, adjusted, and launched a counterattack with renewed vigor, as if mocking them. The Empire, for the first time, realized that despite their rudimentary technology, humans were triumphing in the galactic battlefield. The fleet had trouble regaining control as instability rippled through its ranks. The formerly assured officers were now fighting a wave of uncertainty. The human ships, dancing like wildfires, flashing in and out of view, initiated bold attacks that grew more erratic by the second. They pushed the envelope with each move, mocking the Empire's forces. Captain Lang, smirking at the ridiculousness of it all, was keenly aware that they had the advantage. The humans had adapted rapidly, their tactics driven by an instinctive flair that was illogical but effective. As the Empire's officers scrambled to adjust, Lang's voice echoed once more, a rallying cry. "Everyone believes we are a joke, so let's show them what we're really made of." His voice resonated as he showed them the punchline. The crew is excited and enthusiastic. The environment burst into cheers, filled with a spirit of rebellion that went beyond mere survivability. They were combatants, and they wouldn't be intimidated by humans. Ships launched their next attack, drone waves once more. But this time, they carried more than just EMP devices. They had blinding flares installed, intended to interfere with the Empire's aiming systems as they stumbled in the direction of the cosmic fleet's dazzling explosions. The emptiness was overtaken by light. Sensors and crew members were blinded on the officers of the Empire's flagship, already tense, flailing in bewilderment, unable to follow their quarry through the bright panic. "Focus fire!" yelled a vehicle officer in exasperation, growing as he found it difficult to keep authority, but his official ERS were frantically trying to restore clarity. In the midst of the pandemonium, human forces took advantage of this opportunity to dart in and out, firing torpedoes from the fray that hit the Empire's vessels without warning. Every blast shook the flagship, every shock sending ripples of fear through the ranks. Amidst the chaos, Lang kept broadcasting this unrest, his jests cutting through. "Hey, everyone. Did you realize that we possess a quality known as teamwork? You might wish to make notes, I agree." His laughter reverberated across the quiet. It produced a clamor of derision that penetrated the Empire's officers' brains. This conflict wasn't simply about armaments, but about the human spirit's will, tenacious and lively, which was turning into a powerful weapon in and of itself. Disoriented and dissatisfied, the Empire attempted to return to their combat formation. Kay gave new orders in a tense voice while he tried to rally his team. "Bring us around! We must reorganize!" But the people were relentless. Whenever the Galactic fleet made an effort to establish one entity to which human ships were suited, they divided into smaller teams and started surprise maneuvers on the flanks, using hit-and-run strategies that kept the Empire's equilibrium disrupted. Kak battled to keep things in order when his tactical advisor abruptly stated, "Sir, they've activated their procedures for last resorts. They're using their experimental weaponry." A worried mutter echoed through the bridge. The Empire had long considered human technology outdated, but in this moment, when they encountered a weapon made from desperation